Hello, everybody, and welcome to Global Power BI User Groups. Today, we're going to have a presentation with Patrick LeBlanc, and we're going to giving you more details in a few. So, some highlights about the Global Power BI community. We have our page on the POG Community Leader website from Microsoft, and we have participation from 25 leaders from the whole world, and we have presence in 20 countries. So we invite you guys to join us in Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and our community page. Today we're going to be talking basically about like Azure Analysis Services and Power BI with Patrick LeBlanc. For those who don't know Patrick LeBlanc is a data platform solution architect at Microsoft. It's being like partnered with Guy in the Cube, another guy in the Cube, and has like 15 years plus in experience in IT. He also is like author and co-author of 5 SQL Server books. And Patrick also, you can see him on most of the SQL Server Saturdays sessions. So Patrick, with this, we're gonna give I'm gonna give you make a presenter so you can start like guiding us through the amazing session that we're gonna have today.
All right. Amazing session. You guys hear that? It's going to be an amazing session. All right. So, all right, let's get going. I'm going to share my screen. And thank you for the great introduction there. All right, let me know when you can see. Somebody could kind of give me a thumbs up that you guys can see the screen.
Yes.
All right. Great. Okay. So let me go in the presentation mode here. I promise more demos than slides. So that's just the intro slide. Again, my name is Patrick LeBlanc. I work for Microsoft. Follow me on Twitter. I just write and speak and do stuff. If you want to know more about me, just send me a note. I'm happy to talk about myself. I love to talk about myself. All right. I won't spend much time there. All right. So why? Today we're going to talk about Power BI and Azure Analysis Services. So why? What's the big deal, Patrick? Why do you think it's so great? Because it just works. That's why. It's just you spin up AS, you download the desktop and you connect and it just works. There's not much to it. You see that everybody's dancing. The first time I spin up an Azure Analysis Services, that's what I was doing. I was kind of dancing in my office and kind of jigging around. I was like, man, this stuff is great. What do there was nothing I needed to do besides just connect. So let me show you, right? So I promise more slides than demo. So check this out. Go out to my Azure portal. Let's go here. Somebody wants to do some fine time with me. So in your Azure portal, right? And I'm going to walk you through how to provision this, but watch how easy it is. So I have this one that I use for the SQL Saturday that I did. And you get this nice little Azure portal. I'm going to walk you through how this works, but I was so excited that I didn't want to save this for the end. I just want to dive right in. And so once you get it provisioned, you see right here, you get the server name. I got right there, right? All you need to do, Microsoft does a great job. Use a little clipboard copy thing. And then watch this. I'm going to go to Power BI. I'm so excited about this. Go to Power BI desktop, open it up. I'm almost in a frenzy of how easy this is. Believe it or not, I'm like running around my office right now. So you get the desktop open. Let's close that and go get data. And you can actually use this one right here, this connector. But I work for Microsoft, right? We're going to talk about Azure. So I'm going to go here, more. I'm going to choose Azure and choose. There's a beta connector out there for us. I'm going to choose that one. I'm going to click connect. And paste that in there, click OK. It's going to ask me to authenticate. Yep, you can authenticate with lots of different methods. You got to stay to the end. I'm going to show you how to do all this different authentication. Choose Microsoft. There we go. I've already signed in. It's not going to prompt me. Bam, there's my models. Let's just choose one. Model, click OK. And now I'm connected. I'm just connected that easy. And now all I need to do is I'm going to build out a quick Power BI report, right? So for anyone that's never built a Power BI report, this is not a Power BI session. So don't ask me about building reports. I know a couple of guys that can help you with that. Build something really quickly, month, add some sales data. All right, you guys see, so easy, piece of cake. And then I'm going to add my favorite visual in the world, which is a pie chart. You should always use pie charts in every one of your reports that you create. And you can tell anyone that Patrick said that. Quote me on that, okay? All right, so when you're done, I'm done creating this, and I save it. So I'm going to save this out, and I'm going to call this one just my first demo. And for you guys that have worked with analysis services on premises, I want you guys to, if we were in person, I'd be like sliding across the room and stuff. But I want you to think about when you're live connected, so you'd see down in the bottom right corner, I'm live connected. Before you publish out to PowerBI.com and you're live connected to analysis services, what do you need to do first? What's the prerequisite before you can live connect, before you can publish out and interact with your report? Just think about it for a second while I publish. I'll come back to it. If someone knows the answer, post it in the chat. I'm going to publish. I'm going to choose my workspace, and I'm going to click select. Right? So it's out publishing. Obviously, you guys don't know. Nobody's posting in the chat. You guys aren't interacting with me. It's okay. What you need to do is download the gateway, the on-premises gateway. After you get it, if I didn't have the gateway running, I would get a little prompt saying, hey, there's something that may not happen. There you go, Vishal. You need the gateway. You may not be able to interact with this until you get the gateway and your data source set up. All right. So with Azure Analysis Services, guess what? I don't need a gateway. Who cares about the gateways? Forget about the gateways. Unless, and if you attend my session, if you see me anywhere at a SQL Saturday or somewhere, I do an intro to Azure Analysis Services. If you're using Azure AAS, and you're connecting to some on-premises data, you will need the gateway. But just Power BI and Azure Analysis Services alone, you don't need it. Forget about the gateway. Adam's probably going, what is this guy talking about? You don't need the gateway. All right, I click got it. I'm going to hop over to Power BI here. Let's refresh my page. Publish that up to my Adam and Patrick workspace, and then I'll go to my report, and you can see first demo, there's the report. I go to data set, I click, bam, there I go, right in the web browser. There's no gateway. I didn't have to configure anything. It just works. Remember my slide, right? Remember the first slide with everybody working. It just works. You don't need anything extra, but you need to provision your Azure Analysis Services. So right now that I've gotten all the excitement out of the way, because I am really excited about Azure Analysis Services, let's back up a little bit. Let's back up just a little bit. I'm still dancing around the room, but I showed you how to just connect to it and do some stuff. It's pretty cool. But what is Azure Analysis Services? Let's back up. It's like a rewind I'm doing. All right, so let's back up. What is Azure Analysis Services? Pretty much SQL Server Analysis Services Enterprise. And it's only tabular models. So all you multi-dimensional people out there, sorry, not up there. We only support tabular models in Azure Analysis Services. You get full feature support. You get direct query, partitioning, row-level security, bidirectional relationships, and translations. Okay. If you're on-prem today, how do you get to Azure? Pretty easy. Just redeploy. No kidding. Open up your Visual Studio project, right-click on it, change the destination, redeploy. You're in Azure. Okay. There's some considerations again if you come to my intro session. Maybe I'll do the intro session for the global group in the coming weeks or months. All right. So here's there's 3 different tiers. There's developer, there's basic, and there's standard. The developer and the standard edition, there's parity. There's some limitations with the developer around the size and the number of QPUs. A QPU is a query processing unit. It equals 20 QPUs equal to about 1 virtual processor. And that's what you get with the developer edition. With the basic edition, the basic tier, you do lose like perspectives and partitioning and translations. But if you're just getting started, or if you're looking for a place to develop, this is a great tool to use, because if you take a peek, the developer edition will cost you $98 a month. That's it. And you can develop all you want. It does have a memory limit on it. There's no SLA, and you get 1 virtual processor. But just for development, it's perfect. All right. So let's get into provisioning this thing. How do you provision your AS server, your Azure Analysis Service? So I want you guys to think. You guys use your imagination with me. think about if you had to go out and you needed a new SSAS server running in tabular mode. What's everything that's involved with getting that guy set up? So I'm going to tell you about the prerequisites for my Azure AS, and you tell me about the prerequisites. I'm just kidding. I'll tell you about what I think the prerequisites are for a hardware virtual machine. So first, you got to get the virtual machine. You got to make sure it has enough memory. You got to make sure it has enough disk space. Then you got to download the software, get your SQL Server software, and you got to set up your SQL Server. You need to make sure that you put everything where it goes, set up the right accounts, turn off the firewall, not turn off the firewall, open up the right ports. If you're running a name instance, make sure the browser is running, all that stuff. It's crazy, right? But with Azure Analysis Services, all you need to do before you provision the server, you need your Azure subscription. Go out and do it. You need your Azure, you need the Azure Active Directory, and you need to create a resource group. That's it. Piece of cake. Nothing more to it. There's 3 ways you can do this. You can provision using the Azure portal. I'm going to show you how to do this. You just open up the Azure portal, 3 clicks, and you're ready to go. You can use PowerShell. So I will admit, I started using PowerShell this morning. That was my first time using PowerShell when I wrote this script up to deploy my Azure AS. So I'm new to this PowerShell thing. So anybody want to give me some free classes and free training on it, I'm open to this thing. I didn't realize how good PowerShell was. So it's easy. You specify about 5 things. Actually, if you're in the ISE for PowerShell, it's a nice little drop-down list, so there's no guesswork around the SKUs that you can choose. Pretty nice. You specify that, you run it, and then it deploys in about 2 or 3 minutes. You have a new Azure Azure Analysis Services instance out there. You can also, my friend Donovan, who he always rubbing some DevOps on some stuff, you can do the same thing with your Azure Analysis Services. You can create an ORM template. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's pretty cool. In Visual Studio, I'm going to show you how to get the template and show you how to create it and deploy it. It's pretty nice. All right. So how do you develop these models? It's interesting because up until about a week ago, I was working with one of the guys on the product group, and he gave me access to this tenant, this place in Azure that had this option available. This option is out for everyone now. It's pretty cool. And so if you're doing a lot of work with Power BI Desktop and you're designing these great models, don't fret. I'm going to show you a way you can reuse those. But if you're not, if you're used to SQL Server Data Tools, you can use SQL Server Data Tools to create the models, just like you do with on-premises tabular models. You can use PowerShell and tabular model scripting language, TMSL for short. You can use it also to deploy. There's another great tool if you're doing incremental deployments that everybody should know about, and I don't know why I don't have it on this slide. It's called the BISM Normalizer. If you don't have that download and installed on your machine and you're doing any kind of tabular development, shame on you. You need to go out and do it. Let's do this right now because I'm going to give this slide up to the leaders of the group because you definitely need this for, I'm just going to add this here. Changing my slide deck in the presentation. Boy, this guy, hang on, no, you can't have control. Somebody asked for control of my deck here. Here we go. There we go. Now we're back. All right. Don't change slides in the middle of the presentation like me. You lose stuff. All right. Okay. And there we go. All right. So, but what I'm going to show you today is how you do this with the web designer. It's pretty cool. It's pretty slick, and I like it a lot. Okay. So let's get into this. The first thing I want to show you is provisioning an Azure Analysis Server. So all you do is you go to your portal, right? And you choose add, click the plus, and you guys are probably fancier and you can figure a quick way, data analytics, and oh, where you go? Oh, hang on. It was here. That's all right. Azure, and now look at there. Analysis. There we go. Let's do it that fast way. All right. Analysis services. You click create, and you start typing. You type your server name. So we'll go right here. All right. You type your server name, the subscription. You can use an existing resource group. Choose your pricing tier, and specify the administrator. This particular account is going to be the administrator of the Azure Analysis Server machine. Okay, so that person will have holistic access to it. They can do whatever they want. And if you want to do some backups, if you want to back up your database, you specify a storage location and a storage key, whether or not you want your key to expire. Then you click create. Once you click create, what it's going to do is, let's go here. You'll see I have my 2 AS machines running right there, and you'll see it. There's your machine. There's your admin that I created to it. In the portal, you can see if I go over to the back to the main page, there's the there is the server. You can grab the connection string and start connecting to it and doing all kind of great stuff. Go away. Great stuff, that you want to do. All right. Okay. So let me show you another way to provision. It's pretty cool. I'm going to go over to this one. And so once you create it, and my recommendation is drop this in a separate resource group. You don't want this with all your other noise like VMs and VNets and storage accounts and stuff like that. I put mine in a separate resource group. And then once you're on it, on the machine that you've created, all you need to do is, let's close this guy and let's open this back up. And all you need to do, where are automation scripts, and you'll see that there's lots of different types of automation scripts. For Visual Studio and an ORM template, just go ahead and grab the contents of this. Just copy and paste it. I'll copy and paste this. And then what you can do is you can create like a template in using Visual Studio. You need to first download the Azure SDK. Once you get the Azure SDK downloaded, then you just do a new project. So excited about this. And then once this opens, right, you go to whichever language you like to code in, choose cloud, and you see right there where it says resource group, select that guy right there and give it any name you want, click OK. Then you'll be able to choose the templates you want, right? And there's not one in here already for Azure Analysis Services. Usually doesn't take this long. Just choose the blank template and click OK. And open over here in the Solution Explorer, just open that one right there. Azure Deploy JSON. Just open that one up. I know, right? And then just clear everything out of there and paste this in there. You're ready to go, right? And all you need to do now is pretty much nothing. You could change the version of the server. Maybe you don't want D1, maybe you want S1 or B0, and then you right click on the project and click deploy. And then if you choose new, it's going to detect your subscription, and you specify the resource group and click deploy, and it'll create a new instance of Azure Analysis Services for you out there in that particular under your particular subscription, and you're ready to go. Just that easy. All right. So now that you have the template created, now that you have it ready to go, now that you have your server provision, how do I get my model? How do I develop my models? Like I said before, you can be old school, right? You can be old school and use SQL Server data tools. That's up to you, right? I'm not going to discourage you against doing anything like that. It's your choice. It's your money. It's your time. You do whatever you want to do. My recommendation, what I would do if it was me, right? I would go out to my web browser, open up my portal, click on the instance where I want to create my new model, especially for you guys that have been working in, for everyone that's been working in Power BI Desktop, for example. So let's say you've created this great model in Power BI Desktop. You've imported some data. You've created lots of different measures. You've written a lot of DAX. Hello? Okay, thought somebody said something. You've created a lot of DAX, you've cleaned the model up, and what you want to do is leverage everything that you've already done, right? So you can see I built a model, I have some measures that I've created, my date table, my products, I did a lot of relationships, I've done a lot of stuff in the query editor from the different disparate data sources that I've imported. Now I want to take this and convert this to a tabular model. How do you do this today? everybody's just got this blank stare on their face. That's what I'm imagining right now. Nobody's really thinking about what I'm doing. But it's so easy. I want you guys to pay attention. I want you to watch this. Watch what's going on. All right. So this was released just a couple of days ago. And so we're going to click close. And right here, I'm going to open up the web designer. Just open it up and watch this. Connect it up. And it opens up this new web portal designer preview thing that I think is pretty cool. And right here at the top, you can see the models that already exist, and I can query the models that already exist. But if I click add, I'm going to click add, and I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to say upload sales. Just like that. Look at there, right? So I can choose Power BI Desktop. And once I select that, I can actually browse to a desktop, select it, upload it, and it's going to convert it to a tabular model. I can also connect to an Azure SQL Data Warehouse or an Azure SQL database and start modeling and shaping my data right inside of a web browser, which I think is awesome. So I don't need SQL Server data tools. While there's some limited capabilities of it right now, it still does a pretty good job of allowing you to design it out. But since this is Power BI and SSAS together, I'm going to use a Power BI desktop file. Okay, so we're going to click on the desktop file. We're going to browse to the location. So I'm going to choose this sales upload one. I'm naming it upload sales. I'm going to click import. And yep, I'm going to make you guys wait. You join the session. We're here for an hour. I'm actually way ahead of schedule. So I'm going to make you guys wait while this imports. It's going to take about 3 hours and 52 minutes. I timed it earlier. Before the session. Actually, it doesn't really take that long. It takes about 30 to 45 seconds, and the model's updated, uploaded, and ready to go. Check it out. So right here, you got two options. You can browse the model, or you can edit the model. I'm not going to edit it right now. All I'm going to do is go ahead and say browse the model. So I'm going to click browse right inside a query browser. There you go. There's everything I need. So what I want to do is look at, let's take a peek at year. And I want to look at my sales by year. Here we go. Click run. It summed the year up. Look at that. Look what it did. It summed the year up. That's not what I really want. I don't want it to aggregate. So I'm going to say do not aggregate that and run it again. And bam, it gives me exactly what I need right inside of a web browser. Right inside of a web browser. I don't have data tools. I'm not using data tools. I'm not using Management Studio. I'm not using some other tool to develop this. This is a web browser, any web browser on any machine, right? So watch this though. It gets better. It gets better. It's like a cooking show. You know, you guys watch those cooking shows, bam, or if you watch a commercial at night when they say, oh, wait a minute, but there's something else. This is exactly like it, right? So let's say I open up the desktop. I'm going to open up a new desktop here. And let me make sure I have my connection string, my server name on my clipboard. While that opens up, let's go Power BI Desktop. You're moving too slow. Here we go. And we're going to get some data. Let me show you guys this. I'm so excited about this. Click connect. It's pretty cool what's about to happen. Click OK. Authenticate all the time. It wants to authenticate me. I like that. The fact you see there's other people there. I'm going to tell you about that in a little bit. And there's my upload sales. All right, click OK. And I don't want to bore you guys, but I'm going to do something really quick. Just pay attention. All right, see my summarizations go on. All right, click that guy right there, like that. And we're going to expand this out. I don't like this slicer thing. I like my list. So we're going to choose 2013. And we're going to choose month. Check it out. Watch, I want to show you guys something. This can be nice. And we're going to make a bar chart. Just pay attention. Don't turn away. You might miss something. And then right here, I'm going to choose the actual date, and I'm going to choose sales on my actual date. And Power BI automatically, does the hierarchy thing for me. But I only want the date, so I'm going to switch that over to date. There we go. And I'm going to make this a nice line chart. Got it? You guys paying attention? So I choose a month, and you can see. But what I would like to do is compare year-over-year comparison. So I know you can create quick measures, and I have a video out there on GuyanaCube about it, but I want to show you something else, right? We're not going to use a quick measure because we don't want this to be a report level measure. We want this to be an instance level measure on the database in Azure Analysis Services. And so I have a little script that I wrote, And we're going to go over here back to the web browser in the designer over here. Sorry, wrong one. And we're going to go to my internet sales table over here. And you see I have a little hyperlink that says measures. So I'm going to go ahead and click it. I'm going to click this guy. It's going to open up this new pane for me, which I'm really excited about. Click add new measure. And I'm going to call this sales SPLY. And we'll drop this in here and get rid of that part right there. So there's my DAX expression to do the calculation for same period last year. There's the name of it. Click save. Right? Give it just a little bit. It's going to create that measure for me. Now, excellent. Measures there. I go to internet sales, click it, rerun my query. You can see bam, 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 bam. It just works. You see how my calculation is, right? That one, that one, that one, right? Just works. So we'll minimize this. But what about back in the desktop? Remember back in the desktop I want it. So I want you guys to look, focus in right there. Pay attention to that. This is why these guys are great together. This is why Power BI Desktop and Analysis Services belong together. Imagine you got hundreds of people connecting to this model, right? And everybody needs this. All they need to do now is click refresh, give it a second or so. There, same period last year. That's it. It's just that easy. Now I click it, I add it, and now I can compare sales from last year to this year, day by day by day by day. I know you guys are just as excited as I am, right? I'm stumbling over my words. I'm so excited. I don't know which way to go, left or right, but I'm just so excited about this. All right. Okay. So I know what's the next question, and I'm looking for questions in the chat window, but you guys aren't asking them. That's okay because you'll slow me down anyway. But it's pretty cool. I like this a lot. It's easy. So next question is, Patrick, hey, I want to do some development in Visual Studio. I want to modify this model. I really want to use Visual Studio to do some development against this. How? How can I do that? Well, let me show you. All right. So I'm going to open up Visual Studio, new instance of Visual Studio. But Patrick, how? Sure, Scott. But Patrick, how? I like it. You're going along with the TV show. Thank you so much for playing along. I appreciate that. All right, so we choose File, New, Project. And I'm going to choose Business Intelligence, Analysis Services. Now, I remember when I was a consultant, I'm going to confess to this. I would do a lot of multidimensional work and leave with the source code. And then they would call me back and go, hey, we want to change something. I was like, oh, I got to come back on site. I got to bill you $325 an hour to make the change. Don't let consultants tell you that. And I'm sorry for you consultants on the line with me. You can just, use the import. If you haven't ever used this before, just use the import. All right. So I'm going to choose import from tabular, click OK. Integrated workspace, right? Click OK again. Pop my server name in there. Oh, wrong thing. Let me get my server name. Pop my server name in there. And watch this. It authenticates. It's always authenticating me. I'm okay with it authenticating me. Choose my upload sales. Click OK. Give it just a little bit to do its work. Visual Studio do its work. And then what's going to happen and what you're going to see, it's like magic. It's just like magic, right? There's my model. If I don't want to go if I don't want to go back to Azure, I can go on premises. I can completely go on premises. But remember, this is 1400 compatibility level, so you need to be, the latest version of SQL Server. And even so, if I go to model and choose process, table, there we go, model, process all. It's going to try to authenticate using my Windows AD. I don't have Windows authentication set up on this particular data source, which is an Azure SQL database. So I'll get a little message here, a little context menu, a little bit saying, hey, I can't authenticate. How do I connect to this database? And then at that point, I'll go ahead and change it from from Windows to database. I can configure my Azure SQL DB for Windows R. I just didn't. I'm not lazy. I'm just efficient. That wasn't the topic of this particular presentation. There we go. It'll get to processing. Bam. Now I've converted my Power BI desktop to a tabular model in Analysis Services, pulled it down into my SQL Server data tools. Now I can go on-prem or Azure. Don't go on-prem, too much work. Go to Azure. There's also another way to get this project if you don't want to use that way. If you go over to back to the web portal in Designer, and so I'm going to go back to my model here and go back into the web view. There we go. You can click right here and it can say open in Visual Studio. But look, it's not just Visual Studio. I can open in Visual Studio. I can open connected to Power BI Desktop. I can open to Excel. Not going to talk about Excel today because this is all about Power BI and not Excel. Okay. So if I click right here, open in Power BI Desktop, I think I missed it. All it's going to do is open up a PBIX file connected to the model, a live connection. If I click right here, I don't want it. I don't want you. I don't want you. If I click right here and choose Open in Visual Studio, watch this. Come on. I'm going to choose Save. Open the folder. See where it's saved yet. But this is not where I wanted to save it, so I'm going to do it again. There we go. Choose Save As. So I know where I'm going. So I'm going to put it right here in my Power BI in Azure AS. Save it. Open the folder. There we go. And I'm going to extract this out. Check it out. This is why they're just great together. They give you so many options when you put them together. This gives you a project here. All you need to do is you can open Visual Studio and create a blank solution. So for example, I already have a solution. So all I need to do is say right click. Let me see on my solution. And then I'll do add existing project. Go to that folder. So you got many options. You got many options of where you can get this stuff to, get it, how you can get it out there, right? So there we go. Choose my project, click open. It's gonna give me a nice little warning. Don't ask me that anymore. And yep, integrated workspace. And bam, here comes that project. Same thing, right? Same process. I can use either one to get that model out. And so you can go on-prem, you can go Azure, you can do whatever you want to do. So exciting. All right, okay. What do you guys think? Well, we're not in person, so you can't tell me what you think, but you can chat it to me. All right. I think it's great. Okay. More. I'm not done. There's more. Yeah, it's great. Thanks, Gert. Sweet. It is sweet. All right. So here's something else that I just have to tell you about. And I wasn't going to talk about this because this is kind of disconnecting Power BI from Azure, but I have to talk about this before I get into connecting. You can pause and resume this thing. So if I'm a developer and I'm developing my Azure Analysis Server and I don't want to incur any compute or storage costs, I just pause it. So that $94 that you saw was for the entire month. But if I start being really, really smart with this, I can pause this guy and I'm not incurred any charges. And just for you today, I've done something to show you how to automate this. It's just for you guys that attended. So don't share this with anyone. Don't share this with anyone that didn't join the call. I don't want to give it away, right? So watch this. So I have another tenant that I'm connected to over here in Azure. It's my P. LeBlanc SQL lunch many moons ago. But wait, there's more. Absolutely. I used to do a show called SQLLunch.com. I may revise it one day. I don't know. But anyway, what you need to do is in Azure, you create this, what's called an Azure automation account. Not going to walk you through this. I'm actually going to do a video on GynaCube that walks you through step by step. But I just want to give you a quick highlight of what you'll see in the video. And so to automate, so if I'm a developer, you know, I have a very limited amount of money in my Azure subscription, my MSDN subscription that they give me. And I want to make sure this guy's on and off at a schedule. So I create my automation account. You can see right here, I've already created it. Once you create your automation account and you get into it, there's some modules that you'll need to add because it's just PowerShell. You can run PowerShell out here in it. And so let me show you, there's a few modules that you need to add. You need to add the Azure RM Analysis Services. You need to add Azure RM SQL. And then you also need to add the SQL Server one. All this is in the video, so you don't have to memorize this. And if you forget, I'm going to also record a GynaCube video on this on how to do it. And there's a lot of steps on how to do it. There's a blog post where this guy talks about downloading stuff and putting stuff in a zip file and uploading and things like that. No way. Don't do it. Browse the gallery and simply search. search for your the modules that you need to add and just add them, and they'll show up in a minute or so, and then you can do your automation script. So once you get that done, again, I'm going to do a whole video on it. Once you get it done, you create a run book. And what I did was I cheated a little bit. I based this off of an automation script that was already out there. So I created my own. And so you can see right here, I'll show you what it looks like, just PowerShell. So right here, not the right one. Sorry. Let's see. Let's go back. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Start Azure AAS Server. So I chose the process one, but I want to show you guys this one right here. Okay. So you choose to start Azure AAS Server. You can start and stop it. It's a simple change in the script. I'll go edit right here. And so you can see there's some stuff you can do to get connected up. It's a less interactive connection to the to your portal there, your subscription. But all the meat of it is right here at the bottom. So all this and above, I copied from that template that was there. And then I just wrote, hey, output this, hey, you're starting it, and then resume. And then you pass the name of the server and the resource group. And you see I made them some variables up there. So if you wanted to do the exact same thing, you could say suspend dash Azure RM Analysis Services server. And then you schedule it. So once you have this run book created, all you need to do is go to your schedules and get it scheduled up. So I don't have this one scheduled, but you can have it to go start at 8 a.m. and stop at whatever time you guys finish work. I start around 6 and finish around 6. So that's typically how mine's work. So just had to show you guys that. Didn't mean to take up a whole bunch of time, but I think it's great to have that in your tool belt because it'll help save you some money and maximize, your usage of Azure. All right. Okay. So back to the normally scripted program. All right. Sorry for that little excursion. Okay. So now I want you guys to go on a journey with me. Think about authenticating to an on-premises analysis server. All right. And I actually have a video out there about this, but I'm going to take that little Gynekeep video. I'm going to take it up to the next level. Bam! I'm going to take it up to the next level. So imagine authenticating to an Azure analysis server, an on-premises analysis server. How do I connect to it if I'm not at work? With Azure Analysis Services, you guys think about that while I talk about this, okay? Azure Analysis Services uses Azure Active Directory for authentication, okay? So if you're all in the cloud, no matter where you are, you can connect to it. No matter where you are, what client tool you're using. If you do happen to have on-premises Active Directory still running, use Azure AD Connect and Azure Active Directory Federation Services to get it all synced up for your single sign-on. For your applications like Data Tools and Management Studio and Desktop and any other third-party tools you may want to connect to your Azure Analysis Services like Excel and some other tools that I will not mention in my presentation. Like we use the normal client drivers, ADOMD and MSOLAP, okay? But think about this. I want you guys to think about this for a second. What if I did not work at your organization and you needed to give me access to your queue? Think about it. What would you do? How would you give me access, right? So we have this thing in Azure called B2B, business to business. So whether you have a Hotmail account or an AOL account or a Yahoo account, maybe you have one of those and I want to give you access, or you work for some other company, right? I want to give you access to my queue. How would I give you access to my queue, right? My semantic model. How would I do that? Well, let me show you. All right. Let me show you. So back over to my SQL Lunch tenant, right? This is my SQL Lunch tenant, and I'm an administrator, so I control everything. Which it should be that way. Go to your Azure Active Directory, and what you're going to do is you're going to click Users, right? There's my users. And you see right there where it says guest user, I want you to click that. I want you to click guest user, and I'm going to put in my Yahoo account because I've been keeping track of my Yahoo account. I use it every day for my super covert emails, right? So you put that in there right there. You click invite. They'll get an email for them to accept the invitations. You don't have to wait for them to accept it before you can start using that account and things like that. So you can see how I've added a couple to my SQL Lunch Obviously, the SQL Lunch one is there, but then I added my guy in the cube, and I added my Microsoft aliases, my email addresses to this account. Now, and they're even denoted as such. You can see right there, right? There's a little globe to tell you they're out in the wild, okay? And all right, so once they're added, I can go off to Azure Analysis Services in a web portal. Check it out. Let me go to I'm so fancy, right, with my Azure Analysis Server because I'm all Azured up. Go to my Azure Analysis Services. Go to, maybe I want to make them an administrator. And so I can say add. And if I wanted to make like Microsoft, my Microsoft account, you can see it right there. Add it. P. LeBlanc at Microsoft. Now it's an administrator. So you can see I've added P. LeBlanc guy in the cube as an administrator. So P. LeBlanc but guy in the cube can drop cubes, process semantic models, delete them, do anything he wants to them. Microsoft can't do anything because it's not an administrator right now, okay? So I only have two administrators, SQL Lunch and guy in the cube, okay? Got it? You guys follow me? I hope you're following me. All right, so we're gonna do this. Let's go out to Management Studio. Open Management Studio. I saw they released 17.2. I'm only on 17.1, so I need to get that download and install. I was just so excited about today that I didn't have a chance to go out and download version 17.2. All right, so Management Studio is going to open up. Make sure I have my AS on the clipboard here. There it goes. And so you can see there's a couple of options that you have. Windows Authentication, Active Directory Password, and you have Active Directory Universal Authentication. When I published that video, I got some feedback from the Azure team and from the AS team saying you want them to use Universal Authentication. So use a Universal Authentication, and then I click Connect. Now remember, this is under the SQL Lunch domain, and this is a guy in a cube account. So you can see Adam's got all this fancy stuff set up for a guy in a cube. So I'm going to put in my password, super tough password, get connected, bam, I'm connected. There's the databases that I have access to. You see them? You see them? You're so jealous. You guys are so jealous. And now I can begin to query them and browse them and do stuff like that. But check this out. You see product sales? What I want to do is, remember I made P. LeBlanc Microsoft a guest account. I want to create a role, add him to the role, and only give him access to products that are red. Okay? So watch. I go here. I already created my role. I forgot to delete it. So anyway, you right click and you create a new role. I called it the red role, right? Like the red wedding, right? I call it the red role, blah. Say that 20 times, right? Double click red role, pretend like I just created it. I'm gonna just give it read access. You can see I checked the box. I'm gonna uncheck it and I'm gonna check it again like I just checked it for the first time. Membership, see Microsoft's already there. I can click here and say, all right, you know, my Yahoo account. But I really don't have that one. But anyway, you guys see I have my Microsoft account there. And then I add my row filter on product, which is just a simple DAX expression. Product color equals double quote, red, double quote, right? All right, excellent. Got all that set up. And now Microsoft is ready to go. All right, you guys following me. I hope you guys are following me. I'm getting close on time here. So watch this. I want to show you guys something that I'm really excited. I guess this guy's excited about everything. I am excited about everything. Doesn't take much. All right. Let's close that. All right. So let's do this. So we're going to go open up a new desktop. And I need to get something from this desktop. Just because I want it. I need this AS server. Watch this. Come on, Power BI. Come on, Power BI. There we go. So I'm going to need another one. So I'm going to get another one opening while this one is going. All right. All right. Watch this. So I'm going to say get data from Azure Analysis Server. Pop that in there. I know it said Analysis Services, but either one of them work. Click OK. Connect live. No importing. Connect live. Right. Here's my authentication, my universal authentication. Click it. Hey, it already knows me. Bam. I'm connected. There's the only database I can see. Remember, Guy in the Cube can see them all because he was an administrator. So remember, these two, Power BI and Azure Analysis Services, this is why they go so great together. They can go out to dinner. They can go out to a movie. They can go out to a ball game and hang out. They're just compatible. They just work, right? Click Model. Click OK. Watch this. Give it a second. Bam. Just works, right? I'm going to go ahead and choose color, just so you guys will believe me. Click color. And what color do you see? You probably can't see that. What I'm going to do, if you guys are old like me, and increase the size. So you can see just red. It's just red, right? Okay. Watch this. I'm going to go over to the other desktop. I know. So excited. I'm going to go to the other one. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to get data from Analysis Services. Pay attention. Pay attention. You just might miss something. Click OK. It's got to authenticate again. This time, I'm going to choose GynaCube. Bam. Right? Live Connect. Oh, look at all those databases this guy can see. Choose my model. Click OK. Now watch this. Color. Sales. Can't see that, can you? Hang on. I'm going to show you. Bam. All the colors. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm connected to my Azure Analysis Services with 2 different accounts using the Power BI desktop. You tell me that isn't slick. But when I showed this to someone, it was like, Patrick, it's smoke and mirrors. You know how you guys at Microsoft do. You guys do smoke and mirrors. Let me prove something to you. So remember, there's this thing called report level measures. I'm going to create a report level measure, new measure, and I'm going to ask Power BI a question. I'm going to say, who is this Power BI? Use a principal name, press enter. Let's see who this is on this one, right? And we make it a card. Oh, look at there. Microsoft. Let's go to this one. Let's do the same thing over here. New measure. I'm talking to Power BI desktop. It's my best friend. Check it out. Check it out. Right? Who is this Power BI? Make this a card. And GynaCube, right? So I got P. LeBlanc at Microsoft, and I got P. LeBlanc at GynaCube, 2 different Power BI desktops, same connection to the model, 2 different authentications. I'm working, I'm doing it, I'm loving it. It's great, right? One more thing I want to show you, right? That's cool. Now, remember, both of them are connected to a tenant, SQL Lunch. And what I want to do is, I'm going to save this one. I want to show you something. I'm going to save this. I'm going to call this SQL Lunch PBI. Let's call it that. Okay. And now, remember, I'm connected to SQLLunch.com. I'm going to publish this to my Microsoft Power BI. Whew, I'm rubbing my hands together like I'm doing like a diabolical rub. Right? So I choose Adam and Patrick. I click select. It's publishing, it's publishing, it's publishing, it's publishing. I'm so excited. You're so excited. I'm going to click got it. I'm going to go out, say, all right, open up some Power BI for me. Here's my report. Remember, this is my Microsoft tenant. I've connected to my, that's a cube connected to my SQL Lunch tenant, but this is a piece of cake. This is a piece of cake right here. So I can see the report, but let's do this, right? Let's go to my data set. And remember, I called it what? SQL Lunch. Can I create a report? Is it going to connect to the model? You probably already know it is because the report opened. Now I'm connected to a Azure Analysis Services that's in a different tenant, that's in a different domain. That's in a different domain. And now I can begin to report and do all types of stuff against it. It's only going to show me red because that's what I'm connected to. Crazy or what? I love it. All right. Last few slides. I'm sweating. I'm perspiring. I'm so excited. If you need more resources, if you are struggling, you know, if you subscribe to a smaller Azure Analysis Services and you need to bump it up, you need to start using a different one so you can do, you know, higher levels. You absolutely can do it. You scale up, right? You go from a little Shetland pony to a big, you know, big thoroughbred here, a big horse. All you need to do is go to your Azure AAS in your machine in Azure, and you'll see where it says pricing options out here. And I just wanted to explain this, and I put this in there so I can kind of explain this. I'm in the developer edition, so I can go up to basic or standard. If I was in the basic edition, I can only go up to standard. I can go up and down within the tier, but I can't go down. So if I'm in basic, I can't go down to developer. If I'm standard, I can't go down to basic. Okay, I only can stay within my tiers, within my pricing tiers. Okay, I hope that's as clear as mud for you guys. All right. So my intention was to leave a few minutes at the end for questions. I'm right on time. There's about 10 minutes left in the session. So you can scale up, scale down pretty easy. There's a PowerShell script you can run also to scale up, scale down. So I jumped ahead to the demo. All right. That's it. You guys have any questions? Follow me on Twitter at PatrickDBA. Go out and watch Guy in the Cube. Lots of great content from Adam and I coming out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed, on Facebook and everything else. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for inviting me to present. Hopefully you'll have me back. Hopefully my jokes weren't too corny. And you're welcome. I try to fill all the sessions with demos. Eric, I don't know if you want to jump on and say something, but thank you guys so much. I have some appendix in the slides with more pricing and stuff like that if you want more details about that.
Thank you, Patrick, and it was really amazing presentation. Thank you very much,
thanks.
And hopefully, we can have you back, with another amazing presentation.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Thanks for inviting me. This is fun.
No problem. Anytime. And thank you, everybody, for attending. And just be pending. We're gonna have more sessions coming in September. Reza, Rad, and Layla are gonna have a presentation with us on September, as well as Devin Knight. So we're going to be posting those sessions on probably in the following week. So just be attend to those things in there. Thank you, everybody, and have a good one. Thank you, Patrick.
You're welcome.
All right.